talk about the guys that we brought in. This is what we're made for. This is going to be our last test of the season, the biggest test probably. We're just excited about it.
When you dominate Oklahoma the way you did in the second half with the running game, Gallman, Watson, just unbelievable. How important is that to get that going against a team like Alabama?
Yeah, no doubt. Alabama's giving up 70 yards a game rushing. So if we can establish that run game, that's going to be a huge factor in the game. Wayne and Deshaun are really hot right now. They're running the ball and really feeling this offense. So I think that if we can get that established, it'll be a good game.
Do you feel like it's a badge of honor to be able, because you've run on essentially everyone this year, this is probably the best defense you're going to face?
Yeah, no doubt. Number one in a lot of categories, just looking at them statistically. Number two in the nation overall. Number one in sacks. So that's a big thing that we're also going to take pride in this game. Just excited for the opportunity.
Eric, you've been vocal about the history this entire stretch here. Now that you're at game number 15, the chance to be the first to do it, has it clicked? Does it feel more real?
It's just another game. Like we've been saying for every game. Obviously, this one is the national championship. We're just going to take it in stride and approach it as every other game.
Dabo said if you guys get 15, that would be the best team ever. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, it's been pretty cool. No one's ever done it in the FBS, at least. I think there was a couple teams way back when they barely played football that did that. But yeah, I think so. I think if you put us up statistically against other teams, we win. So we're going to have a chance to prove that in the national championship.
How much has Dabo talked about his ties to Alabama? Obviously, you guys could sense how much this means to him. How much does he bring it up, and what does it mean to you guys, his ties?
He's not the one playing the game. He hasn't really talked about his personal life. Obviously, we know that he would love to play Alabama. We're grateful for this opportunity, but not too much has been said about him and being a part of Alabama.
Eric, how did you guys embrace that idea? 15-0, and we have a possibility of being this. Even before the season began, this idea that we could be there.
I think I tweeted it around July 30th or something like that. 15 for 15. So it's been in my mind the entire time. I had no doubt that this team had the potential to do that. But potential is a dangerous word when you don't embrace it and really unlock it. And I think that's what this team has done. It's just been great to be a part of. We got one more to go.
We hear all the time how young you guys are. There's still a lot of young players on this team. It would seem even more difficult for them to really kind of buy into it. When you're a freshman, sophomore, your mind's on a lot of other things.
Yeah, well, I think that we got a bunch of guys that love playing football. I think that's been the really biggest difference. People ask me all the time, what's the difference in this team and years past? It's definitely not talent. It's just the want to play. The love for the game. It doesn't matter if we're playing, Wofford in the opener or Alabama in the national championship. Guys are excited to play. They want to go play and just make themselves and their family look good.
Coach Sweeney's style is probably a little bit different than a lot of other college coaches out there. How much fun has it been? Is he easy to get behind and be alongside?
Yeah, I think so. I always say that he's a player coach. Really he's a family coach. He treats us as his family. It's just a bunch of his sons out there running around. With that comes discipline, like we've seen multiple times. But he's going to love you regardless. It doesn't matter what the outcome of the game is. He's still going to love us, the same. So it's pretty cool to play for that, and just makes you want to go that much harder for that kind of guy.
Anything in your 5 years here where you said, "Wow, he really has"? The dancing, any comments, anything like that, where you're like, "Wow, this is really out there."
Probably just his dancing. That's the funniest part. What he's most famous for. He's gotten a lot better at it.
Would by far the biggest change in this team since the day you got here to now be just the physical nature and the fact that you guys are just, in the trenches are much better than you were 5 years ago?
Yeah, I think so. I think that the whole blue-collar mentality has really been adopted by us. We understand that it all starts with us, regardless of who we're playing or where we're playing. If the offensive line can dominate, we know it's going to be an easy game. So I think that we've really put that on our shoulders this year and, just tried to dominate every opponent.
When you got here, was there talk within the program, or did you sense the reputation that, hey, these guys are soft, they're finesse, they're receiver skill guy dominated, not necessarily tough? Or did you guys feel you had to put that on your shoulders to change that?
Yeah, I think so. Just in the past couple years, maybe that's been kind of the thing for the offensive linemen around here. Even in NFL talks, scouts come in here all the time and they just say Clemson linemen have been soft. So I think in the last couple years you've seen it change. Maybe I guess the mid 2000s or whenever, that's kind of when it started. But, we're changing all that. Guys that we're bringing in here are nasty. They love to play, and they're going to get after it.
Did you guys all just kind of collectively go about your business these past few years, or was it on your mind saying, hey, we need to be the group that changes this and makes us a formidable crew in the trenches?
I think it's just who we are as people. We don't have to, like you said, point that out as a group to where we have to come together and collectively, make that decision. That's just how we play. That's the people that we are, the way that we play, and we don't have to, make our minds up because it's already been made up.
Obviously they've gotten a ton of hype about that defensive front and how good it is. How much are you looking forward to testing your mettle against that?
Yeah, I can't wait. Obviously the guy I'm going to be going against, 86, phenomenal athlete and, football player in general, probably going to be a top 10 draft pick. So if I want to play in the NFL, got to do well this game. That's the way I'm really looking after it. This is a money game. If guys want to play at that next level, like I said, this is the game where you want to really perform. I think 19 is also a heck of an athlete. He really gets after it. He seems to be all around the ball at all times. And we're really excited about that challenge. They have 50 sacks on the season. I think that's a college football record. And, we haven't given up in a sack in 6 or 7 games. So we're really excited about that challenge.
Those 2 sacks from the last game, that was not on the offensive line?
One of them was on Coach Elliott. He'll tell you that if you go ask him. Should have checked out of the play. He's told us that. And then the second one, I think, was Tay when he threw the ball away because he can't throw the ball away.
Oh, right, that's right. Yeah.
So
I've never heard that rule prior to that
game. Can't do anything about that.
So, as you guys are looking ahead, and it's very much power versus power in the trenches, Wayne is a guy that is as powerful a running back as you're going to find. How do you see that matchup going? And B, what's it like blocking for a guy like Wayne Gallman?
Very easy to block for Wayne Gallman. We don't have to block perfectly every time, but when we do, it's really special for him. I think that he's just a really angry and aggressive runner. He just likes to go. We point him in a direction, he shoots. So we're really looking forward to that matchup. Obviously, Alabama is the best defense that we've played this year, I think. I think they're going to cause a lot of problems at first. We've got to handle adversity well and respond. But if we can get that run game going, it's going to be a fun game.
You guys wore down Oklahoma in the second half. Heat and humidity in Fort Lauderdale. This is going to be a controlled environment. But knowing their talent, their depth, can you concede if things are going well that you can wear down Alabama in the second half?
Maybe not. I think tempo still is going to be a factor, but we're really looking forward to that lack of an excuse to where people can blame it on the weather for their problems. So we're excited about that, and just really looking forward to the matchup.
Talk about how important it is to stay with the running game, even if things aren't going well early in the game.
I think you got to just keep going after it. Obviously Alabama only gives up 70 yards per game, and I think our coordinators realize that not every run play is going to work perfectly every time. But we got to stay consistent with it. That's who we are. That's our identity as this team. We're averaging 230 a game, so it's going to be tested. Who's the strength of the two, and we're looking forward to that.
You're a senior.